up, honey love? What's up, girl? What's up, honey love? I see you. What you doing, real Sonya? What's up, Sonya? Fat Mama Sonya. What's up, Fat Mama Sonya? What's up, Fat Mama Sonya? What's up, Mayday? Lord Mayday. What's up, boy? What's up, Lord Mayday? What's up, my boy Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? It's my big boy, Doc. What you say? All right. Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special, exclusive interview today with the one and only Buffalo Soldier in the building. How you doing today, sir?
All right. You hearing me all right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hear you great. You know.
All right. Let's do this.
Yes, sir. Let's start off by telling the people who is Buffalo Soldier.
Well, Buffalo Soldier is a guy that liked dogs ever since he was 10 years old and still have a love for dogs. And it just so happened that I got introduced to the American Pit Bull Terrier in 71 about. And I've been a lover of the American Pit Bull ever since. I've had Dobermans, Rottweilers, and German Shepherds. But once I got introduced to the American Pit Bull Terrier, I don't want any other breed of dog. I don't presently have a dog, and I need to state that disclaimer right away. I don't have a dog. This is information of many years ago.
Yes, sir.
So we can go there. Whatever disclaimer you have on your network, then we'll go with that disclaimer.
Yes,
is that
sir.
all right?
Yes, sir. That's fine.
Okay.
Now, how did you first get into the dogs?
Through a guy by the name of Benny Humphrey, nicknamed by the name of Top, T-O-P. He introduced me to the dogs, but he didn't have any interest in game dogs. His interest was just in a pit bull that was aggressive, put it that way.
Right.
And once he came and demonstrated his dog to me against 3 of my German Shepherds, I became a fan of the American Pit Bull Terrier. And from that point on, we became very good friends.
Right. What year would you say that was in the 70s?
What was that?
Was that in the 1970s?
That was about 75 when Thunder was born. My first dog's name was Thunderball.
Okay.
First one I had was the best one I ever had. Believe it or not.
Okay.
All right.
What bloodlines did you run back in the day?
Well, Thunder was he was a staff blooded, and the only staff I could identify as staff blood that I would know would be the Tacoma blood. The top side of Thunder was a staff bred by a guy named Larry Keys out of Texas. The bottom side of Thunder was out of some Tacoma blood that came from Tony Consolo, as a matter of fact. Made the breeding. Pat Bojanowski got the dog and sold the dog to Top. Top, in turn, gave a pup to his son, Otis Hall, and I bought Thunder from Otis Hall as a puppy.
Yes, sir.
And from that point on, the rest is history.
Who is
as
some
I
of
said,
the? No, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
As I said, Thunderball was the first one I ever had and the best one I ever had. For some reason, the Lord blessed me with these dogs, and I'm so thankful for it. And my bloodline is out to the public now. Well, only through my son and maybe one or two other people. But from Thunderball right up to BB, which is one of the dogs they took from me, I've been very blessed with these dogs. And out of all the other bloodlines, strains, and families of dogs that's out there, I didn't care where or who you got him from, how he was bred, how many he had won, didn't matter. Get on the other side and we'll see who's got the best one. And I love stiff competition. I've always liked that.
Yes,
so,
indeed.
I was just listening to, I guess, an old episode that you had, and they were talking about traits of the dogs. Well, I've been able to carry a lot of traits from Thunderball right up to BB. And when I mentioned BB, BB was the last competition dog I had, put it that way. And I would rather not put dates on it. I'll just say one of the dogs that the people took from me. But just the fraternity never knew anything about Thunderball, but I purposely registered every one of Farrell's and Stacy's matches because each and every one was a contract. Farrell was a 7-time contract winner. Stacy was a 4-time contract winner. I bred those two dogs together, and that created the family that I have of today. Even I have added different flavors over the years, but I have a lot of the traits that came from Thunderball that I still carry because I subscribe to that theory of genes. Genes produce dogs, not dogs. That's my theory.
Okay.
So I have a lot of the traits such as ability, which is hereditary. I have thick hide, that's hereditary. And they have some real long tails. I don't know why, but they do.
Right.
But, so that's the family of dogs I have. And in the late 90s, I guess, late 90s, I bred a dog called Jelly Roll Red, who was bred out of Miles Davis, Ready to Rumble's trainer. That produced Jelly Roll Red, which was a Jeep REDBOY dog with Mayfield in it, coming down from Mau Mau. That dog, when I added that to my family of dogs, it was like putting a turbocharger on Thunder.
Wow.
Yes. I must give him credit. He was a very, he was, I wrecked him as a pup, but he was a very good producer. I should have bred more of it. And I didn't do that, but that's yesterday. I'm also a big fan of the Mayfield dogs. Mayfield's old DIBO. That is the dog I bred Thunderball to produce Farrar. That was a pure Mayfield bitch, Queen Bee. She was out of King Tut and Goldie.
Right.
That was Farrar. Stacy was bred out of Thunderball and an AKC registered staff, thanks to my son Bruce. he sits there with me as we speak. He had this great idea breeding to this bus driver's dog. And we got Stacy and a dog called Boy. We tried several times to get rid of Stacy because I had learned at that time there was a big difference between a pit bull and a staff.
Right.
Stacy was a staff, and we tried to get rid of her. And every time we'd get rid of her, she'd bounce right back in the yard. And when she got 5 months old, we found out that she was a whip. She was an ace.
Right.
And she never said never. Yes. She was closer to Thunder than Farrell.
Right.
Yeah, now I know I don't want to take anything from Farrell, but Stacy was unbelievable.
Right.
And I wanted Boone on as we talk about this, because that we talk about Blondie and who was the dog that he beat Blondie with? Lady Stone.
Right.
There was a lot of competition around in that era, and I was one of them. But I never said a lot because I was a big fan of a dog that was a 4-time winner that was owned by Bandwagon and Po' Boy. She was a 4-time winner. Well, he wouldn't give me a match first time out with Stacy. So we rode to Arkansas looking for Blondie with her. It didn't happen. So we had to come back home, and there was no other competition around but me. So we did that. And I beat her in an hour and something. Yeah, took her and the guy out of the game. Yeah, Stacy's first time out was against some of the Jim Wilson bred dogs. Jim Wilson, I could go on and on and on about him. Every big dog man in the game was shopping with Jim Wilson, and he never got any credit for that because he'd sell a puppy. And his philosophy
what blood did he have on the yard?
Corvino.
Ooh,
See, when I mentioned Jim Wilson, I'm also mentioning Joe Corvino because they were, I can't say friends, breeding partners. They were associates. I'll put it that way, because they even traveled for shows in the South together. Tom Fairchild and Jim Wilson. And I remember him telling me a story about going to Leo Kennard's yard, I think it was. And they questioned the people, why were those two black guys there at the show? And Joe Corvino told them that they were with him. And after that was all awards. All good. That was Jim Wilson, a silent hero, but right. My mentor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And well, did you want to say something?
There's a long list of dog men, prominent dog men that were shopping with Jim Wilson. Just to name a few: Bert Klaus, Bert Sorrell, Indian Sonny, Sonny Sykes, Don Mayfield, Floyd Boudreaux, and others that I might not even know of. But all of those guys that I named were getting dogs from Jim Wilson as puppies. And they took them there, they did what they did with them, put their names on them. Very few people gave Jim credit. Pat Patrick was another one. All those. the Bolio dogs and the Klaus dogs, Patrick dogs, you'll find that they go back to the same tree. And that tree is Jim Wilson. And Jim Wilson goes back to Joe Corvino. And whatever else was behind Joe Corvino. So, I'm taking you way back. I understand that, but
hey,
Jim took me way back.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, he took me a long way back. And I'm so thankful to have known him. I was honored. Jim Wilson came to my store to meet me. And he was a very secret, private guy at that time, because he was the one that told me to always stay private and secret, stay to myself. He taught me that. And I was very honored that I was doing so good with Thunder that he had to come and meet me. And he did. And I was very honored for him to do that. Because as I told them, as I got to know him, we would joke and jive with each other. They couldn't hold me out. It's just like the dog trying to hold the other one out, but he can't do it. Well, that's what it was with Thunderball. You know, that my first time out, I had to go into one of the best dog men in the era was Dr. Love. And that was my first time out with Thunder. From that point on, I never had an easy match. Never. I'll say this. I had an easy match with Clyde Mason. But it wasn't his dog. I have to say that on his name. It wasn't his dog. It belonged to a guy named Ray C. And I won't call his name because he's still alive. But that was an easy match with Farrar. I made champion with him that night. But I was saying all that to say that I never had an easy match. And I wanted stiff competition. I did. The only way you're going to have a good dog is to go into good dogs. That's just the way it is. So,
what did you look for in a dog when you were assessing a dog? What did you look for in that dog? Was it more so gameness? Was it the mouth? Was it ability? What did you look for the most?
I had no idea, but I learned as time went on that my dogs, Thunder, Stacy, and Farrar, they wouldn't take another hole other than the ear. They were ear specialists, all three of them. They wouldn't take another hole other than the ear. When I added that Jelly Roll Red dog, they went from the ear around to the face and mouth. And I can't say that I'm a big fan of that for the reason that it costs you so much, face and mouth.
Right.
It costs you a lot. So my son has added some Bolio dogs, and I think he got them back up on the ear. That's yet to be proven.
Right. Yes, sir. And what would you say were your favorite dogs? If you had to pick, your 5 favorite dogs that you had over the years, what would you say they were?
Thunderball, number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Stacy, number 2. Farrar, at number 3. And then there are a lot of dogs in between Thunderball and BB that you know nothing about. As a matter of fact, that dog that Boone was mentioning, Arkball, that I beat him with, that dog had killed a Jeep son. And his brother had killed a Jeep son. Killed him. One in Arkbar killed one in 204. Malcolm X killed one in 214 and stood the line and lost. Yeah.
Wow.
I took him back out a second time and beat Rod Kirshner with him.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, he did it so handedly against Stroudbuster. I gave him a second chance, and the second chance he beat a dog that Rod Kirshner had. I had lots of dogs that the fraternity know nothing about in between Thunderball and BB. And I keep mentioning my BB dog because he was an up and coming star. Let me tell you, that dog he was 3 out of 3 and he wasn't 3 years old.
Right.
And the only dog I had left out of my blood was a dog called Buck. And he's BB's son, bred to his sister. So he's got a good pair of nuts on him, I'll put it that way.
Right.
So as far as I say, Thunderball, best I ever had. And when I had a Jelly Roll Red, it was like putting a turbocharger on him because he was a good one. So I'm sure you have some questions.
Who are some of the best? Who are some of the best camps you went into?
Some of the best what?
Camps.
The best kennels you went to.
Oh, competition. Oh, whoever. You know what I would do? I would go down. I would go down the grand champion list, and whoever was in my class, that's exactly who I would be looking for. Now, out of respect of the dog Hank that Danny Burton had, I called him when I had Thunderball because he was on the cover of the journal as the heavyweight champion of the world. It was disrespectful for me to do what I did, but I didn't know that. Hank was old and retired when I called Danny Burton and asked for him. As a matter of fact, he had sold him already. He had sold him already to Captain America. And I called and asked for Hank, and it was disrespectful for me to do that. I have to apologize to the dog for that. Anyway, and anybody that was on the list or the cover of the journal or had a big name for themselves and we weighed the same thing, that's exactly who I was looking for. Yeah, that was me. And if I was able today, I'd be the same way. Yeah. Prove it. That's what it is. It's about prove it. So.
How do you feel about a lot of the legendary dogs from that day today? Like Jeep ended up being one of the greatest producing dogs of all time. Did you ever have anything off of Jeep, or that you didn't deal with that blood?
Yeah, I had Jeep. Jelly Roll Red had Jeep in him. His grandfather was Smiley, Mason Smiley, bred to Esther, a pure Mayfield bitch that I had her sister. And that was my Jeep blood. It was pure. The dogs in Jelly Roll Red were all pure families, every one of them. He was pure Mayfield, he was pure Jeep, and he was pure Red Boy. Every one of them were pure families.
Right.
And I had very good results out of him. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, I did have Jeep blood.
What would you say was the most competitive match you ever seen?
Oh.
I said Bo and Mist. For that Bulldog. 2 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah, we had a dog. named Bo. He wasn't my dog, but I went for number 6 with Farah in the Rebel Kennels.
Mm-hmm.
We took another one with us named Bo. He was I would dare say he's a scatterbred dog, but he was scatterbred with a lot of good different dogs, Corvino and Red Devil. He belonged to a nephew of Jim Wilson. And I showed the dog. And he put on a good show down there in North Carolina along with Farrar. We won both of them in North Carolina. He won in 2 hours and 50. And that was Farrar's roughest match, number 6, I would dare to say. And that was in the Rebel's Tiny Tank. Very, very good match. Classic match. Wish we could have had a video of that. That was a very good match. That was my second encounter with Rebel Kennels. I had already beat him with Virgil. Not Virgil, he's bred down off of Virgil. Homer Blood. I had beat him already. Number 5, I made grand champion. So number 6, Rebel was a game dog, man. I mean, he wanted his lick back. So all right, I'd accommodate him anytime. Right. So he called me for number 6, and he had Tiny Tank. And buddy, did he have a dog? But so did I. They went about 47 minutes, and they went toe to toe. I mean, really went at it. And finally, at the 47-minute mark, Farrar put him in a wizard and slammed him into the pit wall, and lights out. It's over. Yeah. Third time I went to Farrar was a champion out of New York called Gator. We went to Florida to do that one. That was Gator was he had one cutter from the very beginning. And Farrar couldn't get him out of his throat for the first 30 minutes. But at 35 minutes, he was headed for the heels. Over.
Right.
All tough competition. That's why I say I recorded every one of Farrar and Stacy's matches because I didn't record Thunder's matches. And Jack Kelly knew of me and Thunder from the very beginning, but he never offered me a cover story on my dogs, and I never asked for it. And I just, I figured if I was keeping up enough noise that he should be looking for me. So I didn't try and campaign to get on the cover or whatever. I just continued to do what I did.
Right.
And I'm proud of my record. And, even though I don't have no shame of telling the story about getting caught up with the rope situation, which I wrote a story to kind of explain that because it did happen, but it was with no ill intent.
Right.
But, yeah, it was with no ill intent. I hope that people got to read that story that I wrote, because I like I said, it might have a tarnish on my legacy to some, but those that really know me, they know better. Yeah, they know better. I wouldn't dare do nothing like that. But it happened, and I'll just, like I said, you'd have to read the story I wrote to understand that. Since then, we that very same dog, we took and beat a guy that beat the other guy. As I told him, maybe I should claim 2 victories on that. But I did. The guy that robbed me, Another guy, CW, beat him, and I beat CW. So that's the way that happened. You know, yeah, beat him. Matter of fact, with a PK. Yeah, in the square. That was GK, the giant killer. The giant killer was the dog I wanted to Frank Jacob with. The assassin dog breeder.
Right.
Yeah. He beat me. You know, that was a good match and good competition. And he beat me in 223 and we killed each other. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
How many champions and grand champions do you think you had over the years?
Champions? I don't know, 4 or 5 of those, because I bred myself 3 4-time winners. I didn't breed Thunder, but Thunder was well over a 10-time winner. I just had bought him from a puppy. Champions? There's R2, another dog that I didn't mention, but that didn't come from my blood. I won't claim that. I bred her out of a pure Mayfield bitch, the same bitch Farrell's mother, and another bitch out of Snake Jr. She was a Snake Jr. Mayfield bred dog. And she was a 4-time winner. Stacy was a 4-time winner. GK was a 4-time winner. Akbar was a 3-time winner. Karf was the first cross I made with my family and Jelly Roll Red. And Karf was a 2-time winner. And he had a brother that was a 1-time winner, Hurt. And quite honestly, I had a 2-time winning Snake Jr. Mayfield dog that I bred. And I'd be damned if I know who I beat with him. I won 2 contract matches with him. And I lost him in a kennel accident afterwards. But as I say, I had so many that that's one I just can't remember who I beat with that dog. Yeah. So
right.
A lot of them.
Okay, so, okay. And what would you say is, if you had to look back at all the great dogs you had, the great dogs you've seen that you didn't own, what was the best dog that you seen in action that you didn't own?
That I didn't own?
Yes, sir.
Oh, a lot of them, man. There was one called Archie that I think came from True Far. High roll, I had him here in Chicago. And he beat Chicago Nate's Capone. 2 hours and 36. Very, very good match. Very good match. There's another one more recent. Dog called Casino. I'm trying to get it. As a matter of fact, I'm not trying. The owner of that blood, which we call the Caesar blood up here in Chicago, but now it's the old blood, who is old man. Old man is the man that's got that blood. But they bred a dog called Casino. And that dog won the first hour. He lost the second hour and came back to win the third hour and was screaming to get back. Wow. That was a dog. That was a dog. And old man just recently offered me a bitch bred down off of him. And because my son has no more room, we was unable to make the breeding. So, I mean, that was a dog. Let me tell you, he was a dog. And I saw that for myself. And as I said, another good, several of them, I've seen some good ones. Fraud Tiny Tank, that was a good one. Bo and Mister, that was his name, Mister. That was a good one. So R2. Hey, well, she wasn't up. She didn't win. Well, she won an hour 57 her last time out, but her competition wasn't that great. But she stayed there for 157. But R2 just beat the shit out of her, really, and
Right.
But I've seen a lot of good ones, lots of good ones. But yeah, I'm all though I'm inactive, retired, but I'm always looking to see to find the good ones.
Right.
Just to keep up with the game. But let me say this about the game, and everybody's circle has become so small that nobody knows what the other person is doing. And as a matter of fact, I made a statement on Facebook that somebody needs to keep a record of show news, an international record of show news, just to keep the game honest. I found out that a lot of guys are claiming championships on dogs. Those dogs are weight pull dogs. They claiming championships on them. And I saw a pedigree one time that this guy had nothing but champions and grand champions. 5, 6 generations.
Wow.
That automatically told me this is a bunch of bullshit. I would rather see a man just put unknown on his dog rather than put false credentials on him or a fake pedigree. This guy had a complete pedigree of champions and grand champions.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
So, not to say that that's impossible, but not very likely.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And how prevalent was paper hanging back in your day? Did you guys care about the papers being right in his act, or did you care more so about the dog?
I didn't. Though I had papers on Thunderball, and they were UKC papers. But later, as I learned, I registered him with the American Dog Breeders. So he was dual registered. Thunder was. And I kept records and papers on my dogs. Oh, I don't know. I guess up until the early 90s, I guess. But what I did, and as a matter of fact, my son just put all the pedigrees together. I would write out a pedigree on the dog with his birthday. And the back part of it, I had it in the back of my head,
Right.
So my son put the pedigrees together. Now all my dogs are on my pedigree online, and they're out there, the pedigrees. But I never really cared because I was breeding my own, and I'm proud of that. I was able to get my dogs out of my own backyard and competed with the best I could find. And
Right.
I must say, I'm proud of that. A lot of people always would ask me, okay, yeah, all right, yes, my son leaving. How do I hang this call up when it's over?
Just hit leave.
Leave, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, peace, brother.
All
All
right.
right, peace, man. I'll talk to y'all later.
All
Okay.
right now.
So, yeah, you got another 30 minutes of talk time, man. It's getting to be dinner time here. But I wanted to get on the board with Garcia and Boone. They're 2 old timers that
Yes,
You
sir.
know, they've been around longer than me. I don't know about Boone. I'm older than Boone, and Garcia, I might be older than him, but he seems to be been around a long time. So
Yes,
I
sir.
wanted to get on
We'll definitely
and
get you
talk
on
with them.
there. Definitely gonna do that. Most definitely.
Yeah, we could have some good dog talk. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm like a kid in the candy store listening to all these stories, man. Some good stories, man. Good stuff.
Oh man, I got many stories. I do, but I'm still real reluctant, man, because I'm gonna tell you, I've been fooling with these dogs for close to 50 years, and in the last, I'll say 10 years, I allowed a stool pigeon to get up under me,
Oh wow.
and he brought the people out on me. They took all my dogs and killed them, man.
Oh, that's
And I
fucked up.
was, yeah, I had 2 dogs left. One I had a male and a female. One was a sister to the BB dog I'm telling you about, and the other one was a male the only one that was left out of my blood. The female, I never could get pups out of her. She had a kidney problem or whatever. Anyway, we put her in the garbage. She couldn't have pups, and she had a bad back end. She was hot, but she was never capable of going on a hunt. Yeah,
Right.
she had something wrong with her hips. But I just wanted the pups out of her, but I could never get them. So,
Yes, sir. Well, brother, we're gonna definitely continue this conversation. I'm gonna get you on the panel with the other brothers. But I want to thank you so much for your time and
okay,
share some good information with us here. And you got any last words for the people? Any message?
okay. And I'll look forward to, I guess, hearing from you again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Most definitely. I'll
And
send you a link. I'll send you a link to the video when I post it.
sounds good.
All right. Thank you for your time, sir. See you later.
Okay. Okay. You have a good evening.
You too.
All right.